And I'm very appreciative of the fact that I'm coming after the two of these gentlemen, because I wanted to introduce Unitarian Universalism by telling you a little bit of my story. I grew up in a household where my family from my mother's side was entirely Jewish. Family from my father's side was entirely Catholic. And when the two of them decided that they loved one another, they had to figure out how they were going to raise their child. And they found Unitarian Universalism as a place where they were both welcome. The reason that works in Unitarian Universalism grows out of the Christian fold, and we have our history in Christianity, but we have moved with an embrace of tolerance and a love of religious freedom to a place where we don't have creeds, we don't have single statements of belief. What we say is we believe in deeds, not creeds. So it's how you live your life rather than what your statement of belief is that defines how we engage as religious or spiritual people. And I guess I could say that when we come together in community, the way that I like to describe this to newcomers is you'll be sitting, and to your right will be a family that meditates together, and to your left will be a family that has come here because they want to find a way where they can all pray together, even though they come from different traditions. And behind you, there will be an atheist, and in front of you, there will be an agnostic, and you'll have the astounding opportunity to talk with all of these people and understand how your own faith is deepened through that engagement. And it's a gift, I believe.
Well, my background, I grew up in the jungle of Vietnam as a child, and because I was so remotely in the jungle that I was never indoctrinated with any ideology. The concept of Buddha was fleeting somewhere, like people mention it once in a while. When I came to the United States, we were sponsored by a church. Government tend to ask churches to do a lot of, just because it's cheaper, thankfully, right? So we, but it was not for free because they would come and pick us up every Sunday, regardless what our faith was or what my parents. So they pretty much indoctrinated us, and I and my family became extreme Baptists. And then I went to college and separated myself from that for a while. And through education and through a lot of reading with a lot of reflection, and especially of late, atheism is new to me, so forgive me if I cannot articulate this very well, and I cannot speak for the non-believers. I can only speak from my experience, really. But from what I understand, to distinguish my worldview, I consider myself it's atheistic. I've come to the conclusion that there is no anthropomorphic God, like a deity that has a personality that can have jealousy and can hurt people or can reward people. If there is evidence for that, then atheists would be the first one to jump to it and adjust their view accordingly. I would do it myself. Or agnostic, right? Agnostic just means what in Greek, gnostic means knowledge, and a means just without knowledge. And if there is knowledge, then of course we adjust their view. And in that case, that would be, well, if you ask, well, what is your creed? What is your belief? And with the misunderstanding, atheists don't have any beliefs. Well, our belief is that your ethics and your sense of justice is grounded by evidence. And when a child asks, what is it? And if you don't know the answer, then you should honestly say you don't know rather than making things up. It's grounded in evidence-based and explanation. We believe in magic and miracles too, but it's grounded in reality. The magic of looking at the rainbow, and then you ask about afterlife. How can an atheist parent tell a child what happens when you die? How desolate it would be to have no God waiting for you up there. But I would tell my child that when some loved one dies, it lives in your heart forever for the rest of your life. That our molecules will recombine to become something else that is not living. There is poetry to that. There's poetry to the word. You look at the stars and you see how, just to find out how our universe is created. There's poetry in that, and there's magic in that. But people will say, well, what do atheists really believe? You say you have some belief. yes, in that case, if you really want to know the specific belief of an atheist, it tends to be very humanistic, right? So what are humanism? What is humanism? They have a sense of better, do things that would better the community, do things better for your family, for humanity. We tend to like get away from like, oh, labeling people. You're an atheist. You're agnostic. You're a Hindu or Sikh. But it's more like humanity as a whole. We work towards that goal where you look at at a human being as a human, and work together collectively. That belief that you have the potential as a human being to collectively solve problems without waiting for a deity. And in that sense, I am an atheist with humanistic values, from reality to perception about death or the afterworld is based ethics based on evidence and science. Sorry if that's kind of convoluted.
No, it made perfect sense.
Let me just say one thing that I think will help bring it all together. You're a high school teacher,
Yes.
and you're the faculty sponsor for
Free Thinkers Club.
Free Thinkers Club. So it's not exactly atheist, anti-God, anti-deity. It's more of just open.
Well, the word atheist does not, it just separates from the theist. Like, you're a theist, and we don't believe in a deity, therefore we're atheists. But it doesn't mean that you're anti-theist. You just don't have a belief in one. But until there's evidence for one, then of course you adjust your view accordingly. Atheist does not mean anti-theist.
Okay, good.
That's a misunderstanding,
That's what I was trying to bring out.
right?
Good.
Thank you.